Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Your hair looks so nice.
Oh, thanks. I'm actually, when I'm done, we're actually going to go out on a date, my husband and I, because he works this weekend. So,
Oh, yay.
I know. I'm like, we got to squeeze him in because
You look lovely.
the baby is going to come any day. So then our life will be turned upside down again.
That's exciting.
Let's see. Let's post on the team page.
I love my fur baby. I can promise.
Oh my gosh, how
He
cute.
won't bark.
She, so cute.
He probably gets me more followers than I do.
I know. Seriously, my daughter, so I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she started an Instagram for the cat. Her name is Eggo Waffles the cat, and she gets more likes than I do. The cat. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah. My friend's dog has an Instagram that is more popular than you would think it would be. Again, I do follow Crusoe the Dachshund who has like, I don't know, probably like 200,000 followers. Like a dog.
So funny.
Videos and
Starting?
Okay,
press play.
Welcome to our team call. We're going to call them tribal circles because I kind of like the idea of like
I love that.
us circling up much better than I feel like sometimes in the past it was like team calls is all just like whoever feels like the leader is just talking at everyone. And I'm like, I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of being the one who talks all the time. So I love to get input and to brainstorm, and I hope that's what these calls will turn into, a time to just circle up with people who love you and support you and see the struggles of business and the successes of business. We can all throw the ideas into the middle of the circle, right? So tonight, we're going to do a little summit share and a summit recap for those of you who did go to summit. I've asked a couple of awesome ladies to share with us their takeaways from summit tonight, and then I'm just going to run through really quick the big announcements from summit. We can answer questions, talk a little bit about post-summit strategy, yada yada. So our first sharer into the circle tonight. I sort of feel like we're doing like an initiation call.
A powwow.
It's a powwow. Okay. Is Lindsay Heapy. So she's I love her to pieces. I'll let her introduce herself, tell a little bit about her, but she's a prego mama like me. So I'll let her go first, and then we're gonna have Helene and then Mel, and then hopefully Cherish will be on here in a little bit. Oh, there's Kelsey. Hi, Kels. All right, take it away, Linz. Tell us a little bit about you and your life and how long you've been a coach, and give us your
Can everyone hear me good?
Yeah.
New headphones, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so I'm Lindsay. Oh my gosh, I've been a coach for 3.5 years, which is crazy. This summit experience is actually my second summit experience, which was awesome. So much better than last year. But I wasn't feeling very well last year. So this was it was a lot better. Anyone who have you guys all been to summit? You were all there? No. Okay. So it's such an amazing experience, but it's like a total whirlwind. Like you're just like going, and it's craziness. So, but I really enjoyed it. I took care of myself a little bit better this time around. And so I felt a lot better. But I loved it and I learned a lot. And I have a couple different things from a couple different speakers that I wanted to share that really spoke to me, especially at this point in my business. So just to kind of give you guys all a little bit of a background, anyone who's here, anyone who's listening to the replay, the thing that I love honestly so much about Beachbody and being a part of this team is that you really can do whatever you want to do with it whenever. It's such a cool business that can really just go with the waves of your life. I'm pregnant with my third kid, and seasons of life, right? Like different things happen, and you're at different positions in your life and different positions in your business. So I actually am just kind of coming off of a few months, not I hate to say taking off from my business, because I don't really ever feel like I do that, but just kind of taking a little bit of a step back, and just focusing on other areas of my life a little bit more. So going to Summit was actually like perfect, obviously, perfect timing for me to really kind of jumpstart things back to where I want them to be. And again, I just love being a part of this because we have the ability to do that, to make our business the way that we want it, and what works for us and for our life and for whatever season that we're in. So I just wanted to start off by saying that, like, anyone who's been doing this for a long time or not a long time, you can decide to start whenever you feel like that's best for you. And I think that's like a really cool thing that we often take for granted that I want to share. This came from Melanie Mitro. She's very tactical and always has like really good takeaways. So her big thing was that everything is figure outable. Like that was the word that she used. How true is that? Like with your Beachbody business and in life, everything's figure outable. I think so often we get super, super caught up in, maybe not having like the perfect support or the amount of resources that we feel like that we need, or not having everything in line prior to starting something or doing something new. And basically she just said, everything's figure outable. And if you just start, you will get there, and you'll probably fail a few times, but failing forward is what is going to gain us any kind of momentum. And it's what's going to teach us anything, again, in life or in your Beachbody business. So everything is figure outable. We have so many resources that are available to us that aren't even, aside from the team page, aside from whoever our upline coach is, or who our success partner might be, or anything like that. Like you can literally go onto YouTube and type anything Beachbody related in, and you will learn about it. And I think that that's really, really amazing because it gives us the power to be independent, and figure some things out that we want to figure out, while also having the comfort of a team, and being able to chat about these things with each other. So we really truly get like the best of both worlds. We don't have to wait for anybody to figure something else out. We can figure it out ourselves. We can share it with others, and go from there. And I think that that's a really amazing thing. And I think it's really empowering. And I think it's something that we forget about a lot. Again, literally, I remember, so I started my business, it was when I had my first baby, and I was up, all hours of the night, breastfeeding her. And I would literally just like watch YouTube videos, like all hours of the night, just on whatever, how to advance to Emerald, how to do this, like all these things. And I could find it out because obviously I wasn't going to be like texting my coach at 2:00 in the morning. So everything is figure outable. And if you just try to swipe the fear away and just start, you can figure it out. And again, we have this awesome team that can support us, and we can ask questions and we can figure things out together. So I really, really loved that. And also alongside like any YouTube or team page resources, the back office has like so many resources that are available to us. And I know, Missy, you've been around for a long time, but even when I started, like there's so much more in the back office now than there was 3 years ago. So they're just constantly, and I think Carl probably touched on this, or maybe it was Michael Neiman, I don't know, but their corporate is constantly working to help us in whatever ways that they can. So revamping the back office, they did that like a year and a half ago or whatever. And there's so many resources, and things are a lot easier to find. So there are places that you can find information, and everything is figure outable. So I really, really loved that.
Is it actually called the back office?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So well, actually, no, it's called the Coach Online Office. Right?
Okay.
We used to call it the back office.
Page, and then your business, etc.
Yep, your coach office. Yep.
Just
That's the
making
back
sure I wasn't
office,
missing
yeah.
something else.
No.
That's like a
Yeah.
slang
So
term
your
from,
back
like, years
office,
ago.
and right, and so they have the support tab and like all sorts of resources. Go ahead, Miss. Oh, she's frozen.
I was just, am I frozen?
You are kind of in and out.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you're good now. Talk. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm good. I was just saying it was like a slang term that we used to use. So it's just funny.
Yeah, that's how I learned it.
Yeah.
But that too, you guys, like, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, so I'm just going to share it. The back office has like resources for challenge groups. So I don't know about you, like when I first started, I was like, it was super stressful to like create posts and do all those things because I'm like, what do I know, and blah blah. Now it's kind of second nature to me. But if you're ever like in a position, like honestly, I'm starting a Morning Meltdown 100 challenge group, and I'm gonna use a lot of that because it's 100 days. Like that's a lot of workouts, and so I am creating my challenge group with the posts that come from the back office that they give you, tweaking things, obviously making them my own. But there's just so many resources. Like literally, if you knew nothing, you could just go back there and you could click on a couple of things and you could figure it out. So again, I think that that's awesome. I think sometimes people get like really caught up and like they want someone to tell them what to do. Like I'm like that. I love having someone say, okay, like this is what you do. Here are the steps, like blah, blah, blah. And it's a little bit scary for me to figure things out on my own. But then when I do, I feel so good about it. And I feel like it really is my own. And again, for me personally, at this point in my business, like that's what I feel like I am needing to do. Like I need to take matters into my own hands, do some things on my own, and really like get back to basics with how I want to be as a coach to my challengers, which is, again, the basics of our business. So everything's figure outable. Go online, you can find anything that you need. And obviously we have the team page here where we can do that as well. So we can figure things out together. The second point that I wanted to make, Emily Favre and Ashley Molstead did their presentation, and they talked a lot about Instagram. And they focused a lot on how, I don't know if either one of you guys or any of you guys follow them, but they talked so much about being yourself and selling yourself as opposed to selling Beachbody. And I love that. I've always loved that concept throughout my whole Beachbody career, the whole idea of like Beachbody is part of your life, not your whole life. And I think that that's huge. And I think it's something that we need to remind ourselves of often, because we can often get caught up in holding a bag of Shakeology and saying, buy the shake, and, and being salesy in what we do. And yes, the bottom line is we are selling things. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I know some people like have a icky feeling about that. I don't. I'm fine with calling myself a salesperson. However, what we do is so much more than that. And that is something that we really need to sell to people and really need to share with people. And the way that you do that is by sharing yourself. Again, I know a lot of times people have maybe issues with sharing personal things on their social medias, and I totally get that. And I don't feel like you need to like literally share everything, but the only way that another person or the person on the other side of your screen is going to trust you and want to be a part of what you're a part of is if they get to know you. And you doing your workouts and drinking Shakeology is like an hour of your day. Like, what are you doing the rest of the day? And that's what people like to know about, and that's what people like to see, and that's what helps you to have a relationship with somebody and a trusting relationship with somebody. So I just love that they talked so much about that. Like, share things that you love. Like, working out is not the only thing that we do. And honestly, like, I don't even love it all the time. So it's not the only thing that I share. Seriously. It's a part of my life. And so, if you are working out for, again, a half an hour of the day and that's all that you're talking about, like that's all that people think that you're doing, that's weird, first of all, because that's not all that you're doing. So, you have to share these things in a way that is showing that they're enhancing your life rather than your entire life, because we all know that that's not the truth. And so I think that, again, just sharing about everything else that's going on with you at this time really, really makes you relatable. And again, kind of creates that bond and that trust with whoever it is that you would love to be on your team or that you would love to coach in a challenge group. So again, you don't have to share every single little thing, but something that you think is going to add value to somebody else's life that's not about working out for a half hour in the day is something that we should be sharing about. I share about my kids all the time. People love it. And I love it. Like I love posting videos and pictures of my kids. And I love like having that relationship with other moms that have other 3-year-olds and other 2-year-olds and other moms that are pregnant with their third kid. Like there are so many people that we can connect with in the online space. It's out of this world. You can have conversations. I just started sharing about budget stuff, which I was like, no one is gonna care about my budget and the fact that I don't know how to save money. And I'll tell you guys, I like started so many amazing conversations with people about saving money and about Dave Ramsey's baby steps and about like their husbands not being on board, like all of these things. And I was like, wow, you know, and I was just sharing something that was like literally really going on in my life. And so again, the whole idea is to build relationships with people. That's what we are here to do. We're here to connect. And so when we share authentically about ourselves, what's going on in our lives, even if it's like the simplest of things, people really, really, I know I do, like, I really enjoy watching people's Instagram stories and seeing their 3-year-old daughter, because I have a 3-year-old daughter, you know, and it's like, oh, look at, they do the same, whatever. It's a good feeling to feel like you're not alone and that you can have relations with somebody else. So be you, share about your life and how Beachbody and the products and the services and the team enhance your life, not take over your life. I think that's huge, and it's the honest truth. So why not share it that way? And again, the bottom line is to provide a space to have a relationship with somebody and to gain trust. I'm just looking at my notes because obviously I took notes. Oh, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about, guys, is just the vital behaviors. I always love going back to basics when I'm talking about anything with anybody, because again, after doing this for 3.5 years, it's like you lose track of like why you started this whole thing in the first place. So going back to basics with the vital behaviors will revamp your business at any point in time. If you're ever feeling like you're off track, or if you're kind of stuck in a rut, go back to basics. Look at what the vital behaviors are and start doing them. Start treating yourself like you're a challenger again. If you feel like you need to kind of like up your vibe a little bit or understand why you started this whole thing in the first place. And always, always, always remember how lucky we are to have this kind of a community. Like every single time that I do a team call or I'm in the team page or, you know, being at Summit, like physically with everybody, it's like, this is why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I'm here, because having friends, women friends who are, you know, empowered and inspiring, and who want to like just make their lives better and who want to just find positivity, enjoy, like this is a huge deal that we have something like this. There are so many women in the world who don't. And I always try to remember that if I'm ever feeling stuck or funny or whatever, I don't want to do this, I don't want to, whatever. It's like being a part of a family like this has totally changed my life. And I just think that remembering that and just giving that the gratitude that it deserves is huge and can really change your perspective on a lot of things. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So good. So good. Okay. Let's do Helene. You want to go next?
I'm Helene. For those of you that don't know me, I have been a Beachbody coach for 2 years, technically a year and X months, because I was a discount coach for about 9 months first. This was my second summit, and my summit experience was mostly taken over by the Beachbody Classic. I did that this year. So I have to say, if you are choosing to do Classic, your summit experience will be very different, because you will be doing a lot of your time like tanning, it seems, and makeuping, and trying to not mess up your tan, and walking around in a robe and getting comments from people like, are you wearing clothes under that? Yes, I am. Thank you. But I did make it to the general sessions in one part of the whatever track they had for the Coach Emerald and Ruby group. But I gotta say, it started off like what I was thinking about with Summit. I was going in strong. I was very proud of the Beachbody Classic changes I had. And then I stepped into the room, the pre-judging room with all the girls and people, and I started to have the self-doubt, that comparison game. And it started to like freak me out a little. I needed the Rachel Hollis talk the day before this, because we got to Rachel Hollis. The next day I felt better, but the day of the actual classic, I was like, why am I doing this? But Rachel Hollis is like, I am awesome. Celebrate along the way and you'll do fine. So I felt great like the day after classic, which luckily we then did the stage. So I was like happy again by the time we walked stage. But it really, it's hindsight to remember how comparing yourself like can kill your dreams. Like it's not worth it. And I'm an introvert, so the idea of going on stage was like crazy to me, but I love my coach and she suckered me into this. No, she's just so inspiring. I was like, okay, we'll do it together. My coach is Kim Reyes, if you know her, and Christine Vesley did it with us. So just celebrating your wins along the way, because I did have amazing results. And going into it, the idea for me was to put myself out there, be less scared, have less self-doubt, and maybe it'll help build my business because I have something to share. Like you were saying, I never felt like I had something to share. I was literally telling Christine that I don't have anything to share because I feel like everyone I follow are moms. I don't have kids. I don't have these things to share. And then like divine intervention by PowerPoint at Summit, I'm going to read. It says, have you ever thought I'm not qualified to be a coach because my life is too boring to share? And I literally like was talking about that with my friend. She goes, see, it's in the self-doubt presentation. You do have a story to share. You're just full of self-doubt. So Summit for me was 100% conquering of self-doubt and putting myself out there talking more, because I was that person up until like a week ago. Here's my shake. Here's my fitness. Here's my recover. See you tomorrow. Like, because I didn't feel like I had anything to say. And the day I came home, or maybe the day after, I actually had a naysayer amongst my family and friends, which really put me in a funk. And I went on Instagram to talk about it because I didn't know what else to talk about, like just trying to be vulnerable in who I am. And I had several people reach out that were supportive, and other entrepreneurs, not even Beachbody, like, we've been there, we feel you. Yep. Going. So my Summit experience was mostly classic, a sprinkle of general session, but all I really needed was a couple sprinkles to take home and share, and just know that being open, honest, and authentic is really going to be key.
I love that.
That's so good. It's so hard sometimes. And I love the quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think every single one of us are going to be in phases of our lives where we intensely get into comparison. Sometimes we're going to be like kicking butt and taking names and fist pumping Rachel Hollis. And sometimes we're not, And I love, this ties into what Lindsay said, is like any day you choose can be your first day to step out onto that stage. It's like you had that bad day, Helene, like in the room, you're like feeling the comparison. And then the next day you're like, okay, I got this, And so what I find so amazing about this business, and, Lindsay also touched on this, and you did too, is that there's no first day, right? Like Helene's like, well, I was a discount coach first, right? So she wasn't building her business then. So Lindsay's like, oh, well, I took a step back. Well, I'm having a sixth baby, So it's like, there's just going to be times where we're like, go, go, go in our business, or when we're like, I'm disconnected. It's time to change something. And so I kind of love the idea that we can pump ourselves up and say, okay, I'm going to walk back out on that stage, right? Like, I'm not going to compare. And that's what's so great about our team family, right? Because they keep us in that like lane. They keep us in our lane to say, it's like Kim Ray is like shoving you up on the stage, right? Like, you can do it. You can do it. And there's so much power in that together and in celebrating each other. Because really, like, we have a wide variety of people on the team. Like, we don't, you know, I mean, Sylvia is a doctor, for crying out loud, you know, like, and she's still a coach. And, you know, like, there's just such a wide variety. And I think sometimes even within our team circle, we compare ourselves, right? We're like, oh, well, Helene's like, well, I don't have kids. Who cares? Like, you should have seen how cute her dog was before you all got on here. You know, I'm like, we were joking that my daughter's cat gets more likes on Instagram than I do. So
people love animals. Share your dog every day.
I know, seriously.
Oh my gosh.
He gets more followers than I do. Oh, here he comes. Come here, Frankie.
I
know.
People always message me and they're like, I want to see more of Jackson. That's my dog. I'm like,
you're like, okay, there's the dog.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
But I think it's so interesting. Like, Lindsay was like, well, I don't think anyone wants to hear about my budgeting. And Helene's like, well, I don't feel like I have anything to share. And just today I was on Marco Polo with my friends and they were like, it always takes you to like 4 o'clock to get on here. And I was like, it's because my life is chaos all the time. They're like, we don't care. And I was like, oh, like, I just had that moment where I realized I do the same thing with Instagram stories. Like, my life is complete chaos all the time. And so I don't get on. But, like, people probably want to see the chaos. So, but it like puts that barrier up in your mind that says, well, people don't really care. People don't really want to hear about that. But anyway. So I loved all those points all tied together. So Melanie, do you want to share?
Sure. I want to thank you guys for having me on. I had an amazing time at Summit like you all did. So I've been a coach for like 3.5 years, going on 4. I kind of started off slow because I'm in Florida and the coach that connected me to Beachbody kind of stopped doing coaching stuff. And so I finally reached out to her coach, which is Megan, and she got me going. But I have to say, because I'm on here and I love Megan and she's been so helpful, but she knows this, like, we have a different vibe. She's younger and loves different stuff. And so if you don't connect with somebody, look at your upline or something, because she has helped me so much, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't really connect with her lifestyle. But when I heard I got on a call that Missy was talking on like 2 or 2.5 years ago maybe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's people like me out here. And I just wanted more. So I wanted to tell you thank you, Missy, for inspiring me. I was going through like organizing stuff. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I have notes about something you said in December of like 2016, and I still read over it, and I'm so grateful. So I wanted to start off by saying that.
Oh. Thank you. It's so sweet. I love you guys.
She's gonna cry. I can feel it.
Pregnant, I will cry.
Like, I feel like I want to cry.
So I'm a nurse. I work a lot of hours, and
I'm a nurse too.
Tired. I'm a pediatric pre-op and recovery room nurse. I have 3 kids, but they're all in college. And I have a dog that's driving me crazy. But this summit has made me want to push myself forward a little bit more. I have been an Emerald coach since about 3 months after I started. I'd really like to push forward a little bit more. I've had to realize it's okay to have been there, and I've learned a lot and grown a lot, and my mindset has completely changed. And I took away a lot of what you guys said from Summit also, but I'm going to go in a different direction because mine was all about mindset. Like, of course, the workshops and stuff, I have like pages of notes about challenge groups and about Instagram and stuff, which were really practical. But I have to say, like Rachel Hollis, but then the other speaker, Jade Simmons, like, man, she was so good. Like, she was amazing. I wanted to tell you like a couple quotes that like I have written down. So the whole mindset thing that I took away is, and this is something Jade Simmons said, she said, you are not just anything. Like, I was always saying, oh, I'm just a discount coach, or I don't really do anything. I just kind of coach people and help them a little bit. And she just was like, get rid of that. You're not just anything. God made you the way you are, and you're like dissing him by telling yourself you're just this way. Like, be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you've come from. Oh, like Brene Brown says, own your story. And I really grabbed onto that. When somebody said, and it might have been Melanie, I forget who said this, but she's like, you're not just coaches, you're transformation architects. And I really like that. And then they were sharing all these stories about amazing transformations. So you guys, my sister came with me. I don't think she hopped on the call, but she has grappled with a lot of things in her life, and this negative mindset has really pulled her down. And the light came on when she heard all these people's stories and realized we're all different, and you can do this. She's like, they just started by doing 21-day fix, so that's what I'm going to do. And so she just it was just transformational for both of us. But a few other things. I think it was Melanie Mitchell that said passion and purpose are incredible alarm clocks. And so I took that, and I wanted to tell you what I am doing for action things and the way I'm changing the way I do things. So this is a little crazy, but right now I have to be at work at 6 a.m. And I've realized I have to get stuff done in the morning because I'm too fried by the evening. So I'm getting up I set my alarm now. This is honest to God. I planned out my morning. So it's like I like scheduled out every 5 minutes for the first hour. And at 3:50, I have my alarm clock. At 4 o'clock, I'm drinking my Energize, and then on from there. So like I have a plan now, and I feel good about it. It doesn't mean I'm going to get it done every day, but this is my beginning to taking action. And then one of the coaches was doing a 100 club, which means you are going to reach out to 20 people for 5 days a week. So a group of us started that on a thread. So that's kind of my goal. And then I'm going to use Saturday as a catch-up day because I'm not going to get 20 every day during the week. I've gotten so far, I liked it 2 days of 20, a day of 5, a day of 10. So you can kind of do that, but I'm trying to make sure that I get 100 by Sunday. And then another thing I've practiced, but I like this one, is insert your name. You get to do a lot of amazing things. So that's one of my new affirmations. I think it might have been Melanie Mitchell, but I'm not sure. You guys can correct me. So I'm telling myself, Melanie, you get to do a lot of amazing things, and think about all the people you get to inspire, all the, the amazing things we get to do, the amazing people we have in our life. And then so setting up my morning, and then in the evening doing like an impact score. Like, it's not about your business necessarily, it can be, but about people you impacted, about interactions you had, and taking kind of the wins of the day and thinking about them or writing them down so that you can look back and say, wow, that was an amazing day, and then do it all over again the next day. So it's just kind of, I guess, being more purposeful with your time. And that's how I've got to get stuff done, because I just don't have a lot of time. So I don't know if that helped anybody. I hope that you guys can relate to some of that.
That B100 was the British coach. I don't remember her name, but I remember taking that away too. But also the fact that when they would do 100, that they would still get 90 some no's as a reminder to keep going, that she accepted
right.
know that you were getting closer to a yes. Because I was like, that is a lot of invites and a lot of no's, but it's a reminder that this is what you go through, so get comfortable with the no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Melanie, I really like the idea of an impact score, or the question, how did you make an impact today? So maybe y'all that are on this call can help me brainstorm this, because one of the vital behaviors is recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like I was talking a little bit in the beginning of this call about what I want to talk about next week, of, you know, approaching this business by more volume rather than points, and people rather than necessarily the challenge pack specifically. But what you said is interesting with the impact, because Lindsay Matway, who is our upline, okay, said when I was a brand new coach, and she still says this, she says, your business will grow in direct response to how many people you help, in direct proportion to that. And if you know me and my story at all, I had zero business brain when I started this business. Like, I had zero intention. I just wanted to make X amount of dollars because it was fun helping other moms lose weight, because I was already doing it. And I wanted to quit working when my husband was in grad school. But I didn't really see the vision of like a big team and like 15-star diamond, and like those shiny things weren't why I started working my business. What was working, what, like you said, purpose and passion are powerful alarm clocks, right? I started getting up super early because I had a 1-year-old to work my business and to work out and lift weights because I had purpose, right? But it wasn't about points. So what you said about the impact score is interesting. So help me brainstorm this. We don't even have to like make a decision today, but maybe you guys can help me think about it for our team in general. Is I want to find a way to wrap that into recognition. Like, how do we do a better job as a team? Because like, you guys are getting on here and sharing these stories, and these are your aha moments, and these are the impacts that happen to you at Summit, right? And, you know, I think somewhere in our coach careers, someone says something that has such a great impact on us that it moves us to get out of bed at 4:30 or restart our business again or whatever. So how do we recognize that as a team? Like, how do we do that? I mean, we've done type of like win of the week or whatever. But I sort of like the idea of, you know, Melanie saying the actual work part is I'm reaching out to 20 people a day. But how did she make an impact that day? Like, sharing those impact moments where, like, how do we do that as a team? How do we recognize that?
I was even thinking of just like doing a weekly post or something like that. Like, how did you impact somebody's life today? As opposed to, you know, whatever, Success Club points or whatever, which I think is something that we should recognize as well. Right. But, you know, something like that. I know in the past we've done like what did your Beachbody paycheck like pay for this week or whatever, you know what I mean? So like something kind of along those lines. So it's, again, it's more like of a relatable thing, because it's so much more relatable to say, hey, my Beachbody paycheck paid for my groceries, rather than I made $300 this week. Yeah. So maybe something like that, like we could do a thread, like write down one impactful thing that you did this week, or I don't know. What was your impact score?
Yeah, like how did your business impact your life this week, or how did you impact someone else's life? Because we track dollars, we track Success Club points, we track volume, but can you really track how, like, I think we lose sight of that idea of like what it really means to change someone's life.
Right.
I mean, I think we could all look at our lives and say, I can't even remember who I was before I started, you know, down this lifestyle. And we lose sight of how important what we're doing is, you know?
Yeah, somebody had a talk one time, and I wish I could find the paper right now. I had it up here for a while, but she talked about being there for the person that you used to be, and I really love that. I wrote down, I was tired, I didn't know how to get in shape. Be there for that person because somebody's looking for that. Be that tired mom. That mom who's frustrated, doesn't know what's healthy to eat, that type of thing. And when I feel like I don't want to do my business or don't want to work that day, I'm like, well, I need to be there for those people because somebody was there to share it with me. And I had a little, like, I was just thinking when you said, like, feedback from somebody, like we have anyways, we sometimes get feedback from a app we use at work where we take texts and pictures from the OR in the recovery room and send them to the parents so they can keep in touch while their kid's there. But they have an email they can give feedback to us, and we actually get it when we open up the to scan their phone from previous ones, and it's not connected to their name, but we get these feedbacks and it's like, that was amazing, it was so great to follow along, and stuff like that means a lot. You don't know who it came from, right, or what the procedure was or anything, but reading those changed my whole mindset. So I feel like if we had something that showed, I got a message from a friend today that said, without this today, I would have been crying. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You guys help me find 5 dinners to cook, or I don't know what it is, but sharing stuff like that really helps us realize what we do every day.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah. And maybe we just do it once a week. Like, how did you make an impact this week?
Yeah.
And because I could go through probably most people on this team and say something, well, so-and-so said this to me at one point in my coach career that made an impact on me, or we don't toot our horn. Like, how often do we share that? So Kim, this is a funny story. Kim Reyes isn't on here tonight, but she's not my PS coach, right? So her coach doesn't really coach, and her coach is my PS coach. So she's sort of adopted. So I told her, I said, I'm not going to see your alerts like in my coach back office when you do something awesome. So can you please let me know when you do something awesome? So I sort of love that, like, because she'll be like, look at my name, or like she'll send me stuff, and I'm grateful for that because like I have other coaches that I've kind of taken over too, and I'm like, can you please let me know when you hit Emerald? Like Darlene on here, I'm like, let me know when you hit Emerald because I won't see it. But just like when do we toot our own horns? Like, when do we say, you guys, I got this message and it meant so much to me? Like, there's no, and sure, sometimes we share those things on social media, but within the coach community, like, we should do a better job of giving each other the space to be like, this felt so good,
Have them capture that screenshot and save it for the once a week, because Kim will share screenshots on the Instagram. Kim's my coach.
Yeah.
Of people just sending her messages of how like
she's good at that.
She's really good at that. So maybe she can help share a couple screenshots of that, and then we can start a trend of like once a week, like pick something that was impactful to you, that you helped somebody, or vice versa, you sent something and got a response.
Yeah, I think that's like, how were you impacted and how did you impact someone else? Like an impact. Okay. Let's think about it, and you message me when you figure it out. Okay, guys? And we'll do it. We'll just
I love that.
Okay, Cherish.
It reminds me that we should be doing that to other people who impact our lives too, right, and thanking them and telling them what they've done for us. I've been wanting to tell Missy that forever, of how she changed my whole perspective of what a coach can be and how inspirational it was. And so we need to do that more often,
Yeah.
Well, that means a lot to me because maybe you guys don't realize this, but I went through a phase in my business where I tried to get on team calls and I had to stop doing them because I just couldn't stop crying because my best friend had died and I was in a hole, like a black hole. But we go through times in our lives where I think especially with coaching, you feel like I'm not a good coach, or I didn't show up perfectly, so I don't matter anymore, you know? And I still feel like that. I'm like, I'm having my 6th baby. Like, when was the last time I did a team call, guys? Like, you know, so like that means a lot to me, Melanie, because sometimes I feel like, well, I'm kind of a failure as a leader because I don't show up like that person or that person. But the truth is like, it doesn't really matter, you know? And we need to hear those things so that we keep going. So we do show up and we don't stay in our black holes, because we all have those. So thank you, Melanie. That meant a lot to me. Cherish, do you have a second to share your takeaway?
Yeah.
I would love to share it.
I'm parked. It's safe.
Okay. Don't park your car on our account.
I was parked before, but then it was catchy. But I forgot I'm home alone, so I can be parked behind my house. But it's kind of funny because when you talk about like not feeling like you're good enough for not showing up, I never show up, and I'm like, I'm here every time. Like, I never show up for anything. But here's the fun part. I was just laughing because I did the math, and I think I'm just about at 5 years. I'm almost at 5 years of being a coach, technically. And definitely that's my 5th summit that I went to. I am still almost exactly like business-wise in the same place that I was when I went to the first one, which is I like had 2 friends that were like, I want to do that. So I'm covered there. But I go every year, and it's funny because I wonder, like, why do you go every year if you like, I'm the proverbial chicken that like you go and learn how to fly and then I walk home, you know, every time. But for me, like I will get lots of weepy, but just before I left, I'm in the room and I was getting ready to pack, and I was there with Ashley, and I said, I don't want to pack. It makes me want to cry to have to do this. And as is normal for anyone who's having a conversation with me, she thought I was being funny. And I just said, because I don't want to go home to my stupid life. Like, I hate my stupid life. And then she saw I was really crying, but I was like, I don't want to sound beach buddy cultish, but like the theme of like, you belong here is like a huge takeaway for me, because I don't feel that anywhere. Like, and my dad is my favorite human of all the people who were ever humans. And we lost him last year on Halloween, and I haven't shown up for anything since then. Like, nothing matters to me. And I spend most of my time wishing I could just go with him, because I don't see the point in hanging around. But that's not like me being suicidal. That's just me not understanding the point of being here. And so it's really important to go there and just be like, but here's a place where you just get to belong wherever you are at in your journey, wherever you're at in your business, wherever you're at in your life, wherever you're at, like in your fitness or your health or your goals, that you can belong there and just be around like people. I always love to watch the ceremonies, because like they're so, like the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies, because they're so cheesy, but it's like just to see people having fun with each other, with the people that they work with, loving what they do, was a huge takeaway for me. And so for me, because my other life is that I teach college, and most of that is done online, or I have a couple of night classes. And we talk a lot about in the research of why do people drop out of school? And I'm gonna plug in real quick, so it's gonna get weird, but why do people drop out of school, and how do we keep them in there? And the research is saying that like the biggest reason people stay is when they have a sense of community. So a lot of our focus is on making sure there's a presence in the discussion board and facilitating students' interaction with each other, because if they feel like they belong, then they'll stay. And it's important that they stay in that situation, and that they stay with Beachbody because it's changing their life, because it improves who they are, because it makes them healthier, because it helps them reach their goal. And that really, I think, is the difference, is we create that sense of community because we literally, specifically in my case, and not just from losing triple digits of weight on more than one occasion, that we're literally saving people's lives by giving them a place to matter. And I think that is easily lost in numbers, and is easily lost in, I mean, those things are important, numbers and tracking, because you have to write those things down. But the idea that you're giving someone a place to matter, to teach themselves how to matter to themselves, but to matter to you and to matter to us until they can matter to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the huge thing for me that's beyond, shakes and squats and things, is that giving people a space to learn how to matter to themselves, and for making sure they understand that they matter to you and they matter to us until they have learned how to matter to themselves. And I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from that, is that I need my people, because I won't survive without them. I don't even want to survive without them, to be honest. And so I have to make sure I'm making those connections. And if it's that important to me, then there are people out there that it's that important to as well, that don't have that community already.
Well, now that I'm crying.
I know.
So that's my dad. I know. It's like, it's fine. Everything's fine. My dad really is my favorite human. We have what we have in my family. We call it the Jesus incident of 2018, because shortly after I was reading this description of Christ to my family, and there's this line in there that says, like, he was the greatest person who ever lived. And my subconscious mind for a quick second goes, well, I don't know about that, because of how much I think of my dad. And then I was like, well, that's fine. Jesus can win. Jesus can win. He can. It'd be like Jesus and then my dad. That's fine. So.
Oh
I
my gosh.
joined Beachbody for the community. I already had fitness. I've tried every shake. Like, there's a lot out there. I'm here because of the community.
Same.
My team name I've named for my non-existent team is Empowerment Community, because it's about unity for me. So
Love it.
I love that. I love how you say that, because my team name for my non-existent team, or my discount team that just looks at me sideways, or my one coach that's like, I love you, is Invincible You, because of that quote. There's a quote that says, I found in the midst of winter, I found there was in me an invincible summer. And so that's like my thing. And then all of the darkness inside of myself, there's something invincible. So I like that.
That's amazing. I was kind of hoping someone would bring up the theme, because I wasn't there, obviously, because my midwives won't let me fly anywhere. But when I saw the theme, like, it really rang true to me in my heart and why I started this business. And I've had lots of ups and downs and times where I didn't want to show up, and where I still don't, and where I feel like giving up and just being like, who cares about me anyway? I'm old news. But then I get on here and I connect with you guys, and like, we've all been here for a while, and to be honest, like, who on here is my PS coach? I think only Cherish is my PS coach, and Lindsay, and like that team now, because Jillian is not coaching anymore. But our team dynamic has changed so much, and people have come and gone, but it doesn't matter. Like, that you put into words exactly what I want our team to feel like, is just like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what your rank is. I don't care if you ever make $1. I don't care. Like, because it's about belonging, and it's about saying, come as you are, like, be yourself, and find someone you connect with. And sometimes that's not your upline, your direct upline. It's someone you get on a call like this, and you're like, I like that person, or I connect with that person, and I can do that. I can be like that. I can share that. So I'm really excited to carry this theme through tribe and to really grab hold of it. And it gives me courage as a leader who kind of feels like like a fallen leader to step up and say, okay, like all we really have to do is remember that we all belong here no matter where we are, you know? Melanie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I had two things really quick. First of all, one of the girls I connected with last summit, she roomed with us because we had an extra space, and she's not, I guess she's on a totally different team, maybe way up there. She's connected to us, but we are such good friends. We've done Zoom calls together. Like, I love her, and we're not connected otherwise. So there's those people out there. The other thing was that I told you about my sister coming. She just came because she wanted to kind of get away, and she had this idea this would motivate her, and then she ended up with having health problems, and she wasn't where she wanted to be. But she's like, I kept telling her, you need to go anyway. She has this mindset that everybody was incredibly fit. Everybody was a certain way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not that way. And so when I saw that it was, you belong here, I'm like, see, you belong here. You inspire people. You're amazing. And it's just what she needed to hear. And I feel like I got that message too. I just got it earlier, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm encouraged. Like, I really want to take that message and build on that within our tribe, you know, and just say, like, the thing I love, you know, I tell my kids all the time, we're having our sixth baby, right? I said, love is like a circle. Like, it doesn't matter how many people you have to squeeze in there. Like, it just expands. Like, it's, you know, you don't have to, it just grows and grows and grows as big as you need to grow, and that everybody belongs in that circle. My circle's chaos, but that's okay. So I'm excited. Like, this is what I needed right now. I needed to know that I can be a crazy mom of six and still belong here, you know, and that no matter where we are in our businesses and what our lives look like and how boring we think we are, you know, that we belong. And so thank you guys so much for sharing your hearts and making me so happy just to see your faces. And I hope if you have ideas like how we can infuse the feeling we have right here in our little pocket of faces into our team this year, and really take that message and run with it. Because, you know, like your sister, Melanie, you know, I hope she'll come into our team page and feel like, I'm a coach. I don't care if I actually like coach people, but I'm a coach because I belong here, you know? Mm-hmm. And I want to be that team, you know, that just says, come on in. Like, and you know what? It's what actually will grow your business in the long run, because people will be like, oh, I want friends like that. I want real vulnerable people in my life, you know?
Yep.
I think that what you were saying ties into that. I felt more freedom when I'm talking about sharing and being solution providers instead of trying to get challenge packs. I turn people away. I feel so by a challenge pack, and somebody said they have to get a challenge pack to be in your group. And I followed that for a while, and it felt bad. So I love the whole idea of offering a solution to whatever they want, and come on in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is our topic for next week's call. The only way I will not be here next Thursday, same time, same place, is if I am literally having a baby. So I will not put that out of the realm of possibility at this point. So if you have ideas about that concept or feelings or whatever, send those to me. But that is my goal for next week, is to kind of take what we feel here and kind of refocus how we look at sales next week. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for coming.
Hey, everyone wave at me.
What?
Do a big wave. I'm doing a video.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
Okay, I will post the recording, so tag your coaches, and I'll see you next Thursday.
And thank you so much, Missy, for everything that you've been doing with me.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
I was actually going to say,